Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Pratijana Ranjana Yashodanandana Pratijana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Radha Madhava. Jaya Gaura Nitai, Gaura Nitai, Jaya Gaura Nitai, Jaya Gaura Nitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Radha Madhava Ji ki hai. Jayam Vishnu Paraparamahansa Paribrajakachacha Ashtottara Shri Sriman. His Divine Grace Abhay Charanarvinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON Pratistha Acharya Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jayananta Kota Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivashari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Jai Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath Sham Kund Radha Kunda Giri Govardhana Ki Jai, Sri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Navadip Simai Dham Ki Jai, Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai, Sri Jagannath Balaram Subhaja Maharani Rath Mahotsav Ki, Ganga Mai Ki Jai, Jamuna Mai Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Tulsi Maharani Ki Jai, Sri Harinam Sankirtan Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki, Jai Nitai Gaur Premanandi, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories. So today we are celebrating the Rath Yatra ceremony. Jagannath Rath Yatra Mahotsav Ki Jai. This is the wonderful ceremony of the Lord when he goes out on his Rath. Thank you. The Lord goes out on his Rath for his annual ride. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we're going to observe this festival, Rath Yatra, with all the devotees. And in this way Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would reveal what is the actual real meaning of the Rath Yatra. And of course in different times it changes. There's different kings come, different dynasties come, they conquer Puri and then they introduce their systems of worship. Like when the Ganapatyas were ruling there, the Ganapati Jagannath became the Ganapatya. When the Shaktas are in power there, they worship Subhadra Devi. Prominent, she becomes prominent. So different features that the Lord exhibits. These are all kind of inconceivable to us, but the Lord goes along with it. Lord Jagannath's coming from Satya Yuga, and he goes along with all these different changes that are inevitable due to time. So at this particular period when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared, then Mahaprabhu was revealing that, especially for the Radha Krishna bhaktas, through Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, through his dealings with Lord Jagannath and his expressions and feelings, as Srimati Radharani, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is half Radharani, half Krishna. So in the half of Radharani, he's experiencing what is Radharani experiencing in her love for Krishna. He couldn't realize that as Krishna, so he adopted the form of the emotions of Srimati Radharani in the form of a bhakta. So he could experience what his bhaktas experience, especially the greatest bhakta, Srimati Radharani. So like this, then he was sharing it and expressing himself to Lord Jagannath when they were pulling the Rath. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or Radharani would sing different songs and refrains. And so like this, Rupa Damodar was there, and Rupa Goswami, and others. Few could understand what he was saying, especially Rupa Goswami. He broadcast it. Sri Damodar also understood, but he didn't broadcast it. But Rupa Goswami, he broadcast it. Let us know the internal meanings and feelings of what is the love of that the Brajabashis have for Krishna, what kind of emotions they are going through. So if Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't come and do this, we would have very little understanding of what is actually Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan. And because the theme of pulling Jagannath on the Rath is pulling him back to Vrindavan. When Jagannath comes, behold, Vrindavan Jabo, let's go to Vrindavan. Take Jagannath to Vrindavan. So that means they want him to come to Vrindavan. But so it's in the mood of separation. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was showing this love in the mood of separation, which he came to taste and show. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally managed the whole kirtan parties. He split them up into different groups with lead singers, the lead madranga players, 14 Katha players, seven groups I believe he's. And then he split himself into 7 Chaitanya Mahaprabhus and went in his party and was dancing with everyone. Everyone, wow, he really likes our party, he never leaves. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very merciful. A few people could understand what was going on. So this is his complete mercy, just as he expands himself on the Ras, Maharas, to be with every gopi. Or at the Julan, he expands himself and sits on the Julan with all the gopis. So similarly at the Rath Yatra, in the Kirtan, he would divide himself into 7 Kirtan parties he was dancing with simultaneously. So that is Shiva Sangam. Someone asked Prabhupada, I think that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his nocturnal kirtans at Shiva Sangam, this is like Krishna's Rasa Leela. And Prabhupada said, yes, now you're making some advancement. So that was the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would expand himself and to perform all these wonderful pastimes and give his devotees direct association also with him. So I'll read something from Chaitanya Tamrita, because here is expressing the emotions of Srimati Radharani. Pardon? In the mic? Did you? Okay, we're going to read from the Madhya Leela, chapter 13, the Lord's dancing at the Rath Yatra. Jaya Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Gaura Chandra Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So, even when Lord Chaitanya wanted to dance with the devotees, then all the groups were combined together and let Chaitanya Mahaprabhu dance alone in the center. And then Mahaprabhu, he also had the others organized the persons who would catch him. They run along behind Mahaprabhu because he would leap up and he would just sometimes fall anywhere. So there's always devotees running ready to catch him. And he's performing astonishing dance. He liked to jump very, very high. This is one of his features of his dancing. So then offering obeisances to Lord Jagannath, Mahaprabhu raised his face towards Jagannath and prayed as follows. Namo Brahmanaya Devaya Go Brahmanahate Ocha Chakatithaya Krishnaya Go Pindaya Namo Namaha. Very famous Nam mantra of Krishna, and different mantras that the devotees, they like to chant these mantras that Lord Chaitanya chanted in Rath Yatra. So you can chant them also when you see Jagannath. Namo Brahmanaya Deva Jayati Jananivasa Devaki Janmabhad. Naham Bipcho Narapati Na Vaishanasha. I'm not a Brahmana, I'm not a Katra, I'm not a Vaishya, I'm not a Sudra, I'm not a Sannyasi, I'm not a Grihastha, I'm not a Banaprasa, I'm not a... One more. I identify myself only as Gopi Paryakamala Das, the servant of the servant of the servant of Sri Krishna, who maintains the gopis. So here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving us our identity as follows of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is giving us our identity that we are the servant of the servant, the master of the gopis. Master means Nat, Gopi. So Gopinath. Gopinath is our Ishtadeva. Our identity is servant of the servant of Gopinath. So he's our ultimate worshipful object. He's Gopinath. So now we know our identity. Now we can serve. We serve Krishna in different forms. But ultimately Gopinath is our Ishtadeva. So having recited from all these different scriptures, the Lord again offers obeisances, and all the devotees with folded hands also offer the prayers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was dancing, it was like a firebrand. He would go round and round and spin round in circles. You have a firebrand, a stick with some kind of spark on top, and you wheel it around. It looks like one continuous circle, but it's not. It's just one little spark, but they all join together. So Mahaprabhu was like that. He would spin around, and it looked like just one firebrand. And wherever Chaitanya Mahaprabhu danced and put his feet, it felt like the earth was shaking, the hills were shaking, everything, the whole universe was shaking. So sometimes he would fall down in ecstasy, looked like a golden ball. His body complexion was golden, tapta kanchana, molten gold. Molten gold, you cannot capture that color. Because when gold is molten, it's liquid. It's red hot also, so it's glowing. The gold is there, but it's liquid and it's glowing. So you cannot catch that molten gold color. Only when it's melted, when it's hot, you've got the glow coming through. The gold is there and the red glow of fire is coming through. So you can never catch that in a metal. Because that glow is not the glow. But in Mahaprabhu and Radharani and others, they have that complexion, and the glowing emanates from it also. And the king was also there, Maharaj Prataparuja. And while the king beheld the dancing, Srivas Thakur, standing in front of him, became ecstatic as he saw the dancing of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Seeing Srivas Thakur standing before the king, Hari Chandana touched Srivas with his hand and requested him to step aside, like to the Prabhupada disciples. And someone comes up and says, hey, pushes everyone. They what am I doing? You're pushing me away. So he asked him like that. He was pushing him, stand to the side. You know, the king is here. The king, big man. Absorbed in watching Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu dance, Srivas Thakur could not understand why he was being touched and pushed. He was again and again pushed, and he became angry. Srivas Thakur then he slapped Harishchandra to stop him from pushing him. This in turn made Harichandan angry also. As the angered Harichandan was about to speak to Srivas, Maharaj Prataparuja personally stopped him. The king Prataparuja said, you are very fortunate. You've been graced by the touch of Srivas Thakur. I'm not so fortunate, but you should feel very much obliged to him. The car came to a complete standstill and remained immobile, while Lord Jagannath, with unblinking eyes, watched the dancing of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. How many of you have been to Jagannath Puri or Rath Yatra? When you see these unblinking eyes of Lord Jagannath, you're finished. When he comes out of the temple with all the Panda Bijay, he's coming like this, the Pandas are bringing him, and he has to climb up to up the steps to go sit on his rath, and they carry him. He may be round underneath. Somebody told me that he's in a gamla, or like a bowl thing. That's why they move him from one place, and he has like a big, I think it's supposed to be a peacock tail. And there's a guy behind him with a bit of string, and he's pulling it, so it's going like this, like the peacock dancing. And someone's pulling the string. But when Jagannath comes out, first comes out the temple, everybody's waiting, and they have their gongs, all the pandas, and chung, 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 chung. And everyone's waiting, thousands of people there, and they're looking, and then suddenly it gets louder and louder, and it comes, and you can see the Jagannath's then he comes out, it's boom, 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 boom. And there's thousands of devotees, all waiting to see Jagannath. Many of them have been there many days. And when Jagannath comes out, and he's throwing those big sidelong glances with unblinking eyes. You must get love of God, Dave. You must. If you experience it, you must get love of God. But especially that. He's waiting for his devotees. The devotees are waiting for him. 15 days or more, he was in isolation. Now he's out. Krishna. Yeah. Very merciful. Then the goddess of fortune, Subhadra and Balaram, both felt great happiness in their hearts. Indeed, they were seen smiling at the dancing. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he danced and jumped very high, and wonderful transformations indicating his divine ecstasy were seen in his body. All these symptoms were visible simultaneously. His skin erupted with goose pimples. His hairs on his body stood on end. The body resembled the shimali tree, that is a cotton tree with big spikes. His paws with goosebumps, well, we have little goosebumps sometimes. He has like spikes from the shimali tree. Indeed, the people became afraid just to see his teeth chatter. They thought his teeth were going to fall out and break. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's whole body flowed with perspiration, and at the same time blood oozed out. And he made sounds, Jaga, Gaga, Jaja, Gaga, Jagannath. But he's saying, Jaja, Gaga, Jaja, Gaga, in ecstasy. Tears came forcibly from his eyes, as if from a syringe, and all the people around him got wet. Everyone saw his complexion of his body. It changed from white to pink, so that his luster resembled that of a mallika flower. That's a little flower on the creeper. You get white ones and pink ones. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's body was like that. Sometimes he appeared stunned and sometimes rolled on the ground. Indeed, sometimes his legs and hands became as hard as dry wood, and he did not move. When he fell to the ground, sometimes his breathing almost stopped. Then the devotees saw this. When the devotees saw this, their lives also became very feeble. A water flowed from his eyes and sometimes from his nostrils. Foam fell from his mouth, and these flowings appeared to be torrents of nectar descending from the moon. The foam fell from the mouth of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It was taken and drunken by Shubhananda because he was very fortunate and expert in relishing the mellows of ecstatic love of Krishna. After Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had performed his devastating dance for some time, his mind entered into the mood of ecstatic love. After abandoning the dancing, the Lord ordered Swarup Damodar to sing. Understanding his mind, Swarup Damodar began to sing as follows. Now I have gained the Lord of my life, in whose absence I was being burned by Cupid and withered away. This song refers to Srimati Radharani's meeting Krishna at the holy place of Kurukshetra, where Lord Sri Krishna and his brother and sister came to visit when there was a solar eclipse. It is the song of separation from Krishna. When Radharani met Krishna at Kurukshetra, she remembered his intimate associates in Vrindavan, and she thought, now I have gained the Lord of my life. In his absence, I was being burned by the arrow of Cupid, and thus was withering away. But now I have gained my life again. When this refrain was loudly sung by Swarup Damodar, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu again began rhythmically dancing in transcendental bliss. The car of Lord Jagannath began to move slowly while the son of Mother Sachi went ahead and danced in front. While dancing and singing, all the devotees in front of Lord Jagannath kept their eyes on him. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then went to the end of the procession with the Sankirtan performers. With his eyes and mind fully absorbed in Lord Jagannath, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began to play the drama of the song with his two arms. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was dramatically acting the song, he would sometimes fall behind the procession. At that time, Lord Jagannath would come to a standstill. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu again went forward, Lord Jagannath's car would again slowly start. So there was a sort of a competition between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Jagannath in seeing who would lead. But Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so strong that he made Jagannath wait in his cart. While Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was dancing his ecstasy changed. Raising his two arms, he again recited the following verse in a loud voice. That very personality who stole away my heart during my youth is now again my master. These are the same moonlit nights of the month of Chaitra. The same fragrance of malati flowers is there, and the same sweet breezes are blowing from the Kadamba forest. In our intimate relationship, I am also the same lover. Yet, my mind is not happy here. I am eager to go back to that place on the bank of the Reva under the Vedasi tree. That is my desire. This verse was recited by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu again and again, but for Swarup Damodar, no one could understand its meaning. I've already explained this verse, but now I shall describe it in brief. Formerly, when all the gopis of Vrindavan were very pleased when they met Krishna at the holy place of Kurukshetra. Similarly, after seeing Lord Jagannath, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu awoke with the ecstasy of the gopis. Being absorbed in this ecstasy, he asked Swarup Damodar to sing the refrain. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke thus to Lord Jagannath. You are the same Krishna, and I'm the same Radharani. We are meeting again in the same way as we met in the beginning of our lives. Although we are both the same, my mind is still attracted to Vrindavan Dham. I wish that you will please again appear with your lotus feet in Vrindavan. In Kurukshetra, there are crowds of people, elephants and horses, and also the rattling of chariots. But in Vrindavan, there are flower gardens, and the humming of bees and the chirping of birds can be heard. Here at Kurukshetra, you are dressed like a royal prince, accompanied by great warriors. But in Vrindavan, you appeared just like an ordinary cowherd boy, accompanied only by your beautiful flute. There isn't even a drop of mercy. There is not even a drop of the ocean of transcendental happiness that I enjoyed with you in Vrindavan. Therefore, I request you to come to Vrindavan and enjoy pastimes with me. If you do so, my ambition will be fulfilled. In this ecstatic mood, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recited many other verses, but people in general could not understand their meaning. So this is also described in the Navadip Dhammatmya, Bhaktivinoda Thakur. In the Navadip Bhavataranga. And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he left to took sannyas, he took sannyas, went to live in Jagannath Puri for 12 years. Anyway, he came back to to Mayapur on his way to Advaita's house after taking sannyas. So he didn't actually go, he stopped at the Vijayachaspati's house, which is on the border of Koladweep and the other side, Navadvip. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came in and he gave a darshan to the devotees. The word got round, Mahaprabhu is back, he's back. What? Everybody just fled to Vajaspati's house. And Mahaprabhu went on the rooftop and he gave him a darshan. This is when he had taken sannyas. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur is pointing out in the Bhavataranga that here you are, my Lord. I want to see you, and I see you on the house, on the rooftop of Shiva Rajaswati's house. You're the same Krishna. You're my same Vaishnava Lord. I know that. But here, you're dressed like a sannyasi. You have a short piece of cloth only, white cloth. Your beautiful hair is shaved off. And you're my same Lord, but my heart wants to take you back to Sri Vasangam on the bank of the Ganga where we were performing our nocturnal kirtans. We don't like to see you like this as a sannyasi. We want to see you with your beautiful long hair and your golden robes flying and your flower garlands. And this is our heart's desire. So, so this mood is being expressed also here in Koladvipa. So, Radharani was saying this to Krishna, or Mahaprabhu was saying to Jagannath. Jagannath's Krishna, Radharani is, Mahaprabhu is Radharani. So you're the same Krishna, the same moonlit night, the same flute you have. Not same, but we don't like to see you like this, Krishna. You're just like a prince, a warrior. You've got armories and things like that. We want to see you in Vrindavan. That is our desire. So please kindly come back and place your lotus feet. That's the meaning of Rath Yatra. That Radharani is begging Krishna, you please come back. Hope against hope. Having 16,000 queens go to Vrindavan, it would be kind of a rasabasa there. But anyway, there is a hope. So this longing is there. You please come back. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur also expressed one time that I want to do my bhajan there in Kurukshetra. Some disciples of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, they found that quote and they asked Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, what is the meaning of this? Why he wants to do bhajan in Kurukshetra? The Gaudiya Bhaktas, they want to be in Vrindavan or Mayapur or Jagannath Puri. Why Kurukshetra? And he said, because in Kurukshetra, this is the situation of Radharani. This is her mental condition. She's with you, but you're in Kurukshetra, and she wants to take you back to Vrindavan. It's hope against hope. It's impossible practically, but somehow or another maybe there could be a little chance, but actually hope against hope. So her heart is in a very, very delicate situation. And so Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, if I can serve Srimati Radharani like that and please her a little bit while she's in this, she's in this mood, I can console her and help her a little bit, then she will be very pleased. I can gain the mercy of Srimati Radharani by pleasing her in her helping her in her condition and give her some relief. Then she'll be pleased to bless me. We want the blessings of Radharani so we can please Krishna. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur is also expressing that same mood there. The gopis spoke thus, Dear Lord, whose navel is just like a lotus flower, your lotus feet are the only shelter for those who have fallen into this deep well of material existence. Your feet are worshipped and meditated on by great mystic yogis and highly advanced philosophers. We wish that those lotus feet may also be awakened within our hearts, although we are only ordinary persons engaged in household affairs. Speaking in the mood of Srimati Radharani, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, for most people, the mind and heart are one. But because my mind is never separate from Vrindavan, I consider my mind and Vrindavan to be one. My mind is already in Vrindavan, And since you like Vrindavan, will you place your lotus feet there? I will deem that your full mercy. My dear Lord, kindly hear my true submission. My home is in Vrindavan, and I wish your association there. But if I do not get it, then it would be very difficult for me to keep my life. My dear Krishna, formerly when you were staying in Mathura, you sent Uddhava to teach me speculative knowledge and mystic yoga. And now you yourself are speaking the same things. But my mind does not accept it. There is no place in my mind for Jnana Yoga or Dhyana Yoga. Although you know this very well, you are still instructing me in Jnana and Dhyana. This is not right for you to do so. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued, I would like to withdraw my consciousness from you and engage in materialistic activities. But even though I try, I cannot do so. I'm naturally inclined to you only. Your instructions for me to meditate are therefore simply ludicrous. In this way, you are killing me. It is not very good for you to think of me as a candidate for your instructions. The gopis are not like mystic yogis. They will never be satisfied simply by meditating on your lotus feet and imitating so-called yogis. Teaching the gopis about meditation is another kind of duplicity. When they are instructed to undergo mystic yogic practice, they are not at all satisfied. On the contrary, they become more angry with you. The gopis have fallen into the great ocean of separation and are being devoured by the Timingala fish of their ambition to serve you. The gopis are delivered from the mouths of the Timingala fish, for they are pure devotees. Since they have no material conception of life, why should they aspire for liberation? The gopis do not want that liberation desired by yogis and jnanis. They are already liberated from the ocean of material existence. It's amazing that you have forgotten the land of Vrindavan. And how is it you have forgotten your father, your mother, and friends? How is it you have forgotten Govardhan Hill, the bank of the Jamuna, and the forest where you enjoy the Rasa Leela dance? Krishna, you are certainly a refined gentleman with all good qualities. You are well behaved, soft-hearted and merciful. You know that there is not even a tinge of fault to be found in you. Yet your mind does not even remember the inhabitants of Vrindavan. This is only my misfortune and nothing else. I do not care for my personal unhappiness. But when I see the morose face of Mother Jasoda and the hearts of all the inhabitants of Vrindavan breaking because of you, I wonder whether you want to kill them all, or do you want to enliven them by coming here? Why are you simply keeping us alive in a state of suffering? The inhabitants of Vrindavan do not want you dressed like a prince, nor do they want to associate with great warriors in a different country. They cannot leave the land of Vrindavan, and without you, without your presence, they are all dying. What is their condition to be? My dear Krishna, you are the life and soul of Vrindavan Dham. You are especially the life of Nanda Maharaj, and the only opulence in the land of Vrindavan. You are the only opulence in the land of Vrindavan, and you are very merciful. Please come and let the residents of Vrindavan live. Kindly keep your lotus feet again in Vrindavan. After hearing Srimati Radharani's statements, Lord Krishna's love for the inhabitants of Vrindavan was evoked, and his body and mind became very much perturbed. After hearing of their love for him, he immediately thought to himself, to be always indebted to the residents of Vrindavan. Then Krishna began to pacify Srimati Radharani as follows. My dear Srimati Radharani, please hear from me, I'm speaking the truth. I cry day and night simply upon remembering all you inhabitants of Vrindavan. No one knows how unhappy this makes me. Krishna continued. All the inhabitants of Vrindavan Dham, my mother, father, cowherd boyfriends, and everything else, are like my life and soul. And among them all the inhabitants of Vrindavan, the gopis, are my very life and soul. And among the gopis, you, Srimati Radharani, are the chief, and therefore you are the very life of my life. My dear Srimati Radharani, I am always subservient to the loving affairs of all of you. I am under your control only. My separation from you, and residence in a distant place, have occurred due to my strong misfortune. When a woman is separated from the man she loves, and the man is separated from the beloved woman, neither of them can live. It is a fact that they only live for each other. And if one dies, the other hears of it, he or she will surely die also. Such a loving, chaste wife and husband desire all welfare for each other in separation. And they do not care for personal happiness. Desiring only each other's well-being, that such a pair certainly meet again without delay. You are my most dear, and I know in my absence you cannot live for a moment. Just to keep you living, I worship Lord Narayana. By his mercy, potency, I come to Vrindavan every day and enjoy pastimes with you. I then return to Dwarkadam, and thus you can always feel my presence in Vrindavan. Our love is more powerful because of my good fortune in receiving Narayana's grace. This allows me to come there unseen by others. I hope that very soon I shall be able to become visible to everyone. I've already killed all the mischievous demons who are enemies of the Jadu dynasty. I've also killed Kamsa and his allies. There are 2 or 4 more demons still living. I want to kill them. And after doing so, I shall return very soon to Vrindavan. Please know this for certain. I wish to protect the inhabitants of Vrindavan from attacks of my enemies. That is why I remain in my kingdom, where I am indifferent to my royal position. Whatever wives and sons and wealth I maintain in the kingdom are only for the satisfaction of the Jadus. Your loving qualities also attract me to Vrindavan. Indeed, they will bring me back within 10 or 20 days. And when I return, I shall enjoy both day and night with you and all the damsels of Brajavani. While speaking to Srimati Radharani, Krishna became very anxious to return to Vrindavan. He made her listen to a voice which banished all her difficulties and which assured that she would again attain Krishna. Lord Krishna said, devotional service to me is the only way to attain me. My dear gopis, whatever love and affection you have attained for me by good fortune is the only reason for my returning to you. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would sit in his room with Sri Damodar and taste the topics of these verses day and night. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, completely absorbed in ecstatic emotion. While looking at the face of Lord Jagannath, he danced and recited these verses. Jagannath Swami ki jai. So here was the plight of Lord Krishna. They were, she said, previously, Krishna, you sent a message with Uddhava to Vrindavan, because he promised to come back immediately from he promised to come back from Mathura immediately, within a few days, but he didn't come. So then he sent a message with Uddhava. And Uddhava had to read the message. Because Krishna couldn't read it properly, his hands were shaking in emotion. So Uddhava sent this letter. He's, my dear gopis, my dear friends, you should know that separation between ourselves is impossible at any time, at any place, or any circumstances, because I am all-pervading. So think of me being all-pervading and you will not be separated. So this is Gyan, this is what the Gyan is. That's their goal. They want to understand the all-pervasive nature. And then you tell us, now you're telling us, you just meditate on me within the heart, and this way you will be with me. You're treating us like common jnanis and yogis. We've been accustomed to love you from the very beginning of our lives, and you're just treating us like common jnanis and common yogis. It's not proper for you, Krishna. So, but Krishna was coming there. He says, I come every day. We do rasa dance. On the Purnima, we have a rasa dance. And I'm there with you, but because you always think of me, you're always constantly thinking of me. You don't know whether, when I appear before you, you think, when I leave, you think, was Krishna, was he here? It felt like he was here. We were dancing and everything. He was here, was he here? But because they're thinking of Krishna all the time, when he comes, they don't know. Krishna's always there. So he's saying, by the grace of Lord Narayan, I've got some benediction, I can come unseen by others. So, another important point in that Lord Krishna said, devotional service to me is 157, text 157. I wish to protect the inhabitants of Vrindavan from the attacks of my enemies. That is why I remain in the kingdom. Otherwise, I am indifferent to my royal position. Whatever wives, sons and wealth I maintain in the kingdom are only for the satisfaction of the Jadu dynasty. So here Krishna is saying that the only reason that Krishna is there is for the members of the Jadu dynasty. Krishna, he never takes one footstep out of Vrindavan. His happiness is in Vrindavan, it's not anywhere else. So when Krishna leaves Vrindavan, it's not for his own happiness. It's for the happiness of the others, specifically here. Whatever wives and sons and wealth I maintain in the kingdom are only for the satisfaction of the Yadu dynasty. He said, I want to stay at the Yadu dynasty, think I'm their relative, I'm friend, cousin. Great. And they know I'm the super soul because sometimes I show them I've got forearms. And they're great. Great, he's joined the Jadu dynasty. We're all the same clan, having God in the same clan. He's great, so they want to keep him there in Dwarka, in the Jadu dynasty, in Mathura. So Krishna's obliged to stay there to satisfy all the others. But he said, actually my heart is not that, and my love is with you in Vrindavan. Same thing Krishna says to Nanda Baba. When they went to kill Kamsa, then Krishna said, I want to stay a few days. But he promised to go back to Vrindavan, so Krishna said, no, my father, he wants to give me an education, Vasudeva, and do things as the father does with his son. He didn't have the opportunity because he was separated from Krishna. So to give my father and mother some happiness, and the other residents of Dwarkapuri, this is the only reason I'm staying here. But my happiness is only in Vrindavan. So this is the original form of Krishna, who never takes a footstep outside of Vrindavan. This is who we are dealing with here. This is being revealed by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his dealings with Lord Jagannath. That original Krishna never steps out of Vrindavan. His happiness is in Vrindavan. He doesn't need to go outside. He doesn't want to go outside. And he never goes outside. But Rupa Goswami said, sometimes it's necessary to kill the demons, etc. To go outside. But the original Krishna, he never takes one footstep up from Vrindavan. So, Rath Yatra Mahotsav ki. So this Rath Yatra, originally the original Rath was built from Dadichi's bones. You know the story of Dadichi, and they had to get his bones to make a weapon to kill Vritrashura, something like that. So there was some bones were left over, so different things were made. Arjuna got something from that weapon. And they made a Rath, which they kept in the heavenly planets. So in the Indradumna Leela, and Maharaj Indradumna Leela in bringing Lord Jagannath, Nil Madhav and Jagannath. Then, and when it was time for the Rath Yatra, Jagannath was there, appeared there in these wonderful forms. Now they were going to celebrate the Rath Yatra, first Rath Yatra. So they bought that bone chariot from the heavenly planets. And that was Dadichi's bones. I guess after it went back, because now they make it from wood, the chariots. But the original one was Dadichi's bones. I had an experience with Jagannath one time. So I have a connection with Jagannath. Krishna conscious. Somebody gave me a piece of paper and it said there's a festival in Bhubaneswar, somewhere like that, Puri. I was on the train with Pankajangri and we were going to Banaras. And I said, Pankajangri, look, I got a little pamphlet. It says there's some kind of festival. Let's go have a look. Pankajangri said, no, I'm not going. I went there last year and I got, somebody ripped my bag off or something like that. I said, okay, I'll see you in Benares. So I'm going to go have a look. I jumped off the train. Went to, and it happened to be Jagannath Puri, and it happened to be Rath Yatra Festival. And I didn't know anything about it. But anyway, I was waiting for all the people to get off the train, and then I would wait a little while, then I would go, because I didn't have a ticket. So wait till all the guards went, ticket inspector went. Then I would go. So everybody, all the train people, then I went down, and the policeman saw me. He came He said, "Where's your ticket?" I said, "It's in my bag." He said, "Let me have a look." I said, "No." He said, "You should show me if you've got a ticket." I said, "I'm not going to show you it." So I thought, oh my God, now they're going to arrest me for not having a ticket. I'm going to go through all that. They're going to put me in the cell for a few days, question me, all this hassle is going to happen. So I just started walking fast towards the ticket inspector, the gate, and the policeman was coming behind me also, getting closer and closer, and there was a ticket inspector was there, and the policeman was closer and closer, and I thought, oh my God, I'm not going to get out of this one. I got right to the ticket inspector's office, and on the right there was a door, and I went in the door, and I was in a restaurant. It was but the policeman, he didn't see me. So and then I opened the door on the other side, and I ran down the road, and yeah, no one was coming, and I went, wow, beautiful place here. All the little pukkos I was walking through, and then, that's such a nice vibration here. Jagannath Puridam ki jai. And it's so beautiful here. I forgot all my anxieties, they all disappeared as soon as Then I took some chapati and sabji. Never tasted such nectar. Jagannath Puri Mahaprasad ki. It's all prasadam, all the food in Jagannath Puri. I never tasted such nectar. Wow. And I didn't know anything about Jagannath. Anyway, it was Rath Yatra, so I could see Lord Jagannath and pulling the cart, thousands of people, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath. I just imitating what everyone else was doing. Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath. Everyone was laughing. I said, "What are you laughing at?" I said, "This is Balaram." Chanting Jai Jagannath. I said, "Who's Balaram?" And the devotees were there. Hare Krishna ki Jai. Prabhupada's devotees were there. Dinanath Manaswami was there. Chitralekha, Bihari Lal. Jayapataka Maharaj just left apparently. So, right there in the presence of Lord Jagannath, and I saw the devotee, it's Hare Krishnas. I've seen them a couple of times in London. They used to do the nightclubs. They were very popular. So I'd seen them a few times, but I never spoke to them. So I had a lot of questions. I've been in India maybe over a year by then, so I've been gathering, looking for self-realization. So I had a lot of questions. The Hare Krishnas, I'll ask them questions. So up I go. Why are you chanting Hare Krishna? In according to Hindu philosophy, we have Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. And Brahma, Shiva, Vishnu, creator, maintainer and destroyer. This is the conception, the topmost conception of God in Hinduism. I'm speaking, my understanding. So why you don't chant why don't you chant Brahma, Shiva and Vishnu also? And the devotee, and he was a new bhakta, his name was Biharilal. He said we chant Krishna's name because Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. And boom. Oh gee, nobody ever told me that before. I've been meeting so many sadhus, nobody ever told me God was a person before. And here they are, first thing, a new bhakti. Krishna is the supreme personality of God. I was in Hirishikesh with what's that place? Divine Light Mission. He used to sit on the, Swamiji used to sit on the bank of the Ganga with a lot of foreign disciples or followers. Brahmin, sannyasi, born in India. He could not tell me. New bhakta, associated with Prabhupada for a little while. he knew. The other big swamis, they don't know. I immediately accepted Krishna consciousness. Everything that my understanding when I related to I can see it. Yeah, just relating all of my unanswered questions and through Prabhupada's books and the questions I was asking the devotees, they were answering me from Prabhupada's, all these answers were coming from Prabhupada and Prabhupada's books. Exactly what I wanted to know, exactly wherever I was, realization I was, everything tallied so perfectly with Prabhupada's books. Savior of the ball, Prabhupada ki jai. And right in front of Lord Jagannath. So I was thinking I got a lot of mercy there. Jagannath, Balaram, Subhadra. And after I was thinking that I was in Madurai, just coming up, when we were coming up to Puri. And I was reflecting my travels in India, and Madurai, Meenakshi temple is a famous temple. There's so many gods and goddesses, and I was watching all the pilgrims, they were coming in, turning around in circles, and I thought, it seems like it's a mythology, this Hinduism. I thought it's pretty good, I had a good time, but I don't think I'm going to find the answer in Hinduism. So I thought the answer must be in Zen, the void philosophy. So I thought I finished my searching in India. It was good, but I'm not going to get it. So somehow or another I was going to go over to Japan and get into some Zen monastery, and Prabhupada says in one purport that when a person becomes frustrated about maintaining a form after leaving the body, and I can't remember which purport it is, then he takes, when he becomes frustrated, then he takes to some kind of Buddhist philosophy. Oh, that was me. That was right my time. I was frustrated. I'm not going to find it in India. See if I can get it in Japan. Yeah, so exactly where I was. Prabhupada, he told us exactly everything about to. So, yeah, out of frustration they would turn to some Buddhist philosophy. I was just about to do that. Then Jagannath saved me from being a Buddhist. But I was talking to one person in Meenakshi. Anyway, it's the same thing. But when I was reflecting later on, I could see how Krishna's hand was there, and so you come to search for God, have a good look, have a good look. So then when you're frustrated, when you finally give up, okay, you had a good look, you could find me. No. Okay, now you're frustrated. Now meet my devotees. This is the I got from Krishna. You're trying as hard as you can. Okay, did you get it? You find God by your own, meet devotees. Devotees is the only way you're going to understand, through the devotees. So I took it, the picture was like that. I tried. Well, Jagannath's mercy comes through different ways. When I got there, first to Puri, I went to the temple. I was at Lion's Gate, the main temple in front. Walking a beautiful temple there. From a long distance I could see it. I was walking. I would visit all the temples. And I went into the Lion's Gate entrance, and all of a sudden, I was about 10 foot back, and there was a cop, policeman, uniform. You can't come in here. I was really surprised. Not more than surprised. How I got, he came and pushed me, I jumped back about 10 foot, I think. He's really aggressive. He pushed me back, you can't come in here. I was angry. I said, you think God can only be known in a brown skin and some paint on your face? It doesn't, God only lives in the heart of those with a brown skin and painted face. Oh, he chased me away. I said, I'm going to get in another gate then. I went around the other side. I went around all 4 gates, but as soon as they saw me, they ran out to chase me. Anyway, I took it as mercy. Later on, I heard that this is one of the symptoms in Vrindavan that my friend Maloj Prabhu explained to me. He stayed there a long, long time. He said, when the devotees are coming to take residence in Vrindavan, they're going to Madhukari, they're going to spend their life in Vrindavan. The first thing when they go, they're going Madhukari, and the little kids, they see, there's a new Baba is coming, it's a new Baba coming. So they throw stones at him. They throw stones. And the saying is that if you do that, they go and they pelt you with stones. It's a good sign. It means that Krishna is accepting you. You can come and stay in Vrindavan. You can do Madhukari. After a while, they stop throwing stones when they know you. So I took it like that. And Lord Jagannath gave me a welcome. Not this way, but gave me a welcome to Puridam. Anyway, a few years later, I embraced with Radhanath Maharaj and Dudumna Maharaj and Bhakti Maharaj. You have to go. He said, come early in the morning, we'll give you... When Jagannath was at Gundicha, they stay outside for a few days so we can get... He said, come early in the morning, so we went really early, and then he was calling us up one at a time, because and we could go right up and then the Pandits, they push you on, embrace Jagannath, embrace, push your head hard on his. Anyway, Jagannath is very merciful. What the deity shouldn't be seen by lower animals or low class men, that is an injunction. But Jagannath, he transcends all that. He comes out, everybody can see him, the lectures. Anyone can see him. The dogs are there. Yeah, and those with leprosy, they can't walk. They kind of drag along behind Jagannath. It's pitiful to see, but at least they've taken complete shelter of Jagannath. And they kind of, behind the cart, they know, at least they have knowledge that they're suffering from previous activity. But they take shelter of Jagannath. But Jagannath gives you shelter to everyone, even Even the dogs are there, they can see him on the cart, everybody can see him. Jagannath Swami Nayana Patagami Bhavahatmi. So he will see you, when will your, what is that prayer, when will your glance of mercy fall across my path? Or when will I fall across your glance? Yeah. Jagannath Swami ki, Sri Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveda Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Very well. Hare Krishna. Sorry I was a little bit emotional, I'm a little bit sick and for some. Hare Krishna.